buy a plot of land and start to work off of that land. But you Jakes never got that. Your 40 acres of the mule, you never got that.
Yeah, they could walk off the plantation and they ain't gotta fucking be asked. You free, where your papers at?
Yeah.
You know, they ain't had no yoke of iron around their neck. You know, they can be free to walk about. You know, not like Jake, man.
And Esau tried to hide the fact that the natives that was here, they wanted to leave out of history that the chattel slavery that the Jake slave, the Southern Kingdom slaves went through. They tried to hide the history that natives were also under that slavery. You know, and they was trying to other Native American tribes, their way of captivity. They were trying to basically put that on the natives on how they should, rule over slaves, and they wasn't having it. And then you had the Seminoles, which is the tribe of Reuben. They was the only ones that was like, nah, any runaway slave, we gonna take them in and treat them like they are people. You know. So Esau, his fear was, Jake mixing in with the natives here, man. You know. They didn't want them to come together, you know. And it says, as the number of European laborers coming to the colonies dwindled, enslaving Africans or Israelites became a commercial necessity and more widely acceptable. I mean, it's a lot in this, but I can read the whole thing. But matter of fact, let me read this one. It says, with ideal climate and available land, property owners in the southern colonies began establishing plantation farms for cash crops like rice, tobacco, and sugar cane. Enterprises that required increasing amounts of labor. To meet the need, wealthy planters turned to slave traders who imported ever more human chattel to the colonies, the vast majority of West Africa. As more slaves were imported and an upsurge in slave fertility rates expanded the inventory, a new industry was born.
Slave fertility, what's that? Putting buck versus buck. Putting slave
Breeding
versus
forms.
slave. Breeding. And that's where...
that's in the Willie Lynch.
Willie Lynch, but...
we need more workers.
That guy Dick Gregory broke down how desperate that industry was. They would take a male child, breed him with the mother. They always want to get one of the females to help breed. And they didn't care if it was incestuous. That's where all the crazy ass, that's where motherfucker came from. Oh, you a motherfucker, man. Because how low are you? You in there sticking your mom. To make more slaves. And then slave kids come out all crazy and deranged.
That's where you get the dozens.
And that's where the dozens came from. Like you said, like you don't know that's your mother. You can smell, your mother's sick. You know her energy in her field.
Esau got to pay, bro.
You don't catch it, man. You got to pay for all this. All in the industry of creating more workers or slaves, if you will. You got it out.
And really, it's not a big difference from that moment to this time. It's not really big of a change. You just getting peanuts now. You're getting just enough just to stay afloat so that you can have enough energy to continue to serve this devil. He'll put you in your little slave hut, which is your little house or apartment, with lights and electricity, water. You got your little form of entertainment just so you can continue to cope and bear, basically your slave life. And it's just an ongoing cycle, and you don't even think about it because you're thinking that you're going to keep up with the Joneses with all this slave labor, but it's like a hamster in a wheel. It just, you think you're going somewhere, but you ain't going nowhere, man.
Running and going hard and running and with nowhere.
And your elites are just watching you just run on that wheel, man.
Run this goddamn circle.
That's a slave mentality. It says, these open markets where humans were inspected like animals and brought and sold to the highest bidder proved an increasingly lucrative enterprise. In the 17th century, slaves would fetch between $5 and $10, but by the mid-19th century, an able-bodied slave fetched an average price between $1,200 and $1,500. You know.
Facts.
And how much are these athletes?
Yeah.
What about these athletes when they go on the draft,
Yep.
which is the modern day slave auction?
Yep. The NBA too.
And they recruit you because they know they finna make billions off your ass, man. You're gonna get a few million, which you gonna basically spend that up and
gotta
live
put that
reckless
right back into
and put that and give it right back. But they're gonna make much more off of you, way more. And they ain't gotta lift a finger. They ain't gotta do shit, man.
They constantly looking for that next LeBron James, that next Michael Jordan, because they know they're about to cash in on his ass.
What do you think they don't do with that nigga Zion?
He got what?
That's what they want.
You got a scripture?
Ticket sales.
Yeah, let's get some scriptures out now.
And let me read this. Proverbs chapter 23. I'm going to start at the top. It says, when thou sittest to eat with the ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Okay, trying to be in that seat like the oppressors in the seat,
Yeah.
right? Of your ruler. It said, labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Will thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? Will thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Yep, said, eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh,
That's talking about a nigger. That's a nigger with his money.
but who told
Don't
him
trust
to be nigger?
don't trust it receiving anything from him because he's gonna demand stuff of you.
Yep.
Really,
Think about why you there.
he's gonna demand your integrity. He you know, hey, basically, hey, you owe me.
Yep.
You know,
Think about why he
you owe
brought
me.
you.
Yeah.
He's there because he wants something.
He wants your soul. He wants your slave labor. He wants you to be a good slave for
What
him.
he said, put the knife to thy neck, because now your life is on the line in this decision you're about to make. And when a lot of you guys sit at that table with these elites or the lower levels anyway to get into this industry to be rich in this society, and what happens, man? You end up losing your life.
They showed that in the NWA movie. You know, where with Jerry Heller when he brought all of them to the table individually and had them sign off. And
Contract.
It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get somebody to read that first.
Yep.
I got that in Deuteronomy 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 38. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little in,
Yeah.
for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them.
Marshall Pot.
40. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive oil shall cast its fruits.
I mean, really, that's talking about the Lord, you know, causing, you know, famine and, you know, all the different, you know, luxuries that we had in our land. It would just wither away. It would, you know. But no, there's something else in here where it talks about. It talks about the nation shall eat of our. What was it? The next. Yeah, the fruit of thy land. Yep.
Is Deuteronomy 28:33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Shall eat up. That's the one. That's the one right there, man. You know, the fruit of your labors, a nation that you know not is gonna eat it up, and they're gonna consume it. They're gonna eat good off of your labors, man. They're gonna establish industries off of your slave labor.
Yeah.
That bring them trillions. That's why the Rothschild is worth trillions. the Rockefellers, man.
Hey, you look at a movie like Django, it had all of the industries in there. The slave labor was what they were doing in the field, the selling of slaves themselves, and like it got down to where he was beginning to make money in slave fights, man. Slave fighting slaves. That was another industry he began to prosper in. You know, just off of the slaves. And he was like, "You did good. You know, you go and get yourself a good night's rest, man. You earned it, man. Because I just got paid off of you. I paid $500 for you, and I'm expecting to get 5 fights out of your ass. You know, you gonna give me the money for my 5 fights? You know." So that was a whole other industry that was created. And Esau found a way to continually create these industries to make money off of people. And it hasn't stopped even today. You think LeBron James is getting the most of the money that he's generating, the energy he's generating? He's not. There's somebody, there's an Edomite somewhere that's getting buku paid.
Somebody got signed off on this shit.
That's why. Remember Kobe's last 2 years?
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't like, no, I'm not giving it back, because
Right.
he know what they make
Yep.
off just his presence.
Yep, just the fact he's still around.
Yeah.
They gonna parade him around, they gonna get their money. So he might as well get his, right?
Psalms chapter 73, verse 3. Read down. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For they are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore,
They're not in trouble as other men. Meaning, they don't suffer the atrocities that the people of the poor, suffer. They ain't worrying about lights getting cut off. So, they don't have to live from paycheck to paycheck. Okay? They're not subject to the same payments that you're subject to. They don't deal with the issues that we deal with in the urban cities, the urban areas. They ain't got to deal with that shit, man.
You considering to take your family out to dinner, what bill gonna get paid late or something? Like, they don't think about that type of shit.
Yeah, I gotta pull up my book real quick, because I don't know what's on my account right now, and the bills is coming up. I gotta pay my insurance, my house, pay my car note, or my car insurance, and I gotta pay for this, and we gotta deal with shit like that.
throw it on a credit card.
Throw it on a card. You know what
They
I'm saying?
worried about their next trip, their next family trip. You know?
Real.
They're worried about
going real places.
Next golf
Yeah.
return.
They're going across the world.
next family vacation.
Yeah, Jake spend their holidays at grandma's house. They spend their holidays over at foreign countries.
That's what they're worried about. They ain't worried about bills.
Verse 6. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more.
And why do violence cover them? It's because as long as they've been in power, in order to continuously keep their foot upon the earth's substance, they have to always go to war to get in their possession. They got to fund so many different wars to keep it all flourishing, man. It talks about how they covet fields, they take them by violence. They want land that got the most resources, man. They want to stake claim to it and then set up, corporations that'll actually prosper, man, off of those industries. Why was they looking at Venezuela so tough? Because they want to control the oil markets down there. They want to put